Welcome to Poeartistry number 162 or maybe 163, perceptive readers. I didn't check my list before I came on here. What I want to share with you, it happens to be this morning. You know, I have my cup of coffee in hand, and yes, I'm James Lynch. What I want to share with you happens to pertain to inventions, which I've talked about with you quite a bit throughout the years. You know, sometimes the ideas that are thrown out there towards you, do you ever remember how I said, you know, some of the stuff again, I'm just talking, commentary, podcasting, or what have you. But yes, there's always been just very few ideas, so to speak, that I've had, you know, that some people would say, oh, that's your baby right there, then, or those are your babies. And many people feel that way about their creations, don't they? Yeah, it means a lot to them that they design whatever their invention is, their art or what have you, and make no mistake about it, you can't even tell them what paintbrush they want to use. And they have every single right to do that, you know. And so there are other times those same people, depending on where they go, who they work with, or what have you, they will put themselves in a position of, hey, you got the wheel or what have you, and then they just go along with whatever your idea happens to be, you see. And so I described that to continue to remind you that humans who have their own priorities, and hopefully we all do, then they are supposed to carry out whatever their priorities are in the way that they want to carry them out. Overall, that's the way it should be. And so when I talk about inventions, you know, sometimes you just need to figure out what have you. If you want to work with somebody on this or that, you see what I'm saying, project, you may want to gauge still a basic way their personality happens to function. What are their priorities? What is their outlook on life? How much real effort they may put into it? And no matter what, it may still fall in line with, hey, yeah, this is still what I'm actually looking for, or what have you. For example, it's in the year 2026 right now. I gave, I guess you could say, my own little keynote graduation speech, you know, that I give out here walking around, not in no stadium, but just out here walking around, talking to the wind. And remember, the birds, and as you could probably hear today, at least one dog, listen to those type of speeches, man. And I think they gain a lot of value from it, even though, you know, the dog still barks at me, so he might be telling me something different. But the birds keep singing. Anyway, I mentioned in that keynote, if you will, I believe it. Yes, I really do believe I gave it as a Poeartistry moment. Here it is. Yeah, this is in the 160s, and some of you happen to see that I still haven't really given you legends for the Poeartistry moments. They only went all the way up to 110, 11, 12, somewhere in that area. And so you're probably still waiting for some of those Poeartistry that I gave, you know, all the way up until January of this year, coming to the new year, that you haven't even had a chance to listen to yet. But you know, you will end up hearing them, you will receive them, and hopefully, listen to me, hopefully, I'll finally have them at least all scheduled, you know, somehow before this year goes out. okay? And then you probably say, yeah, but now you all into the 200s now or whatever Poeartistry go. But no, I'm not really sure whether that would be the case. But this is what I want to still let you know about inventions and mindset. I mentioned in that speech, so to speak, keynote commentary speech, about the mindset of persons who are farmers. And so I encourage you to go back and listen to that, or what have you. One day it will be in the legend, so you can easily find it. And so it goes to show you that there are people, because of their priorities, their outlook, just what they like, or what have you to do, they can accomplish so much. They will at times volunteer, you see, their time and their energy as well, but that is still not their focus overall. And yet it keeps them balanced. It keeps them being people with decent personalities as well. You almost know, okay, when you need help in this way, you're going to get it, or what have you. So capable people as well, and then have the mindset. So I won't redo that speech or what have you, because I'd rather have you just go listen to it yourself. But speaking of ideals that happen to come from such mindsets, you'll hear them and they'll throw this out or that. And just like, I've shared something with you that what I've observed on just a couple of things that I've been working on for the past few years in the first place. I've actually seen now with the technology, some persons or companies or developers, they have already actually implemented, they have created these certain aspects of what I was already looking into. They had the time, the resources to actually do it. And yet, I tell you what, I still look at the offers that some of these different developers have now, for the website or the technology that they created. I still see the aspects of what I was talking about is, you certainly been able to monetize it, so to speak. You certainly have been able to arrange your connections and everything to make it work for you to be very profitable. That's what I want to mention. Still price tag on it and everything. So with that said, even though somebody beat me to the punch, so to speak, I still know it was a good idea, if you know what I'm saying. So there are still, maybe you're like me, a couple of ideas that you still have, that I still have, that I just won't write down worth anything for the most part. Now, not the main way of what I'm really thinking. And we found out the reasons why some people do that. It was a time persons could walk around with a notepad and everything and just be writing down their ideas left and right. And somehow that information still fell into the hands that they didn't want it to fall into, even though that, that notebook wasn't even stolen, So with that being said, especially in the digital age, there are just certain ideas or patterns you may even be working on that you want a bit more share unless 100% you at least have the environment, the firewalls, if you will, even though nothing at this time is, for some persons, their environment is not 100% sure that, it can't be cracked, so to speak. But all the same, there are still certain ideas that persons like myself have shared over the years that when I shared it, I really did, in some cases, I hope somebody create this. I hope this view or way of living or helping persons in the sense, you see, somebody will create it, or what have you. And so with that statement being said, we continue to work and develop. And as I said before, I do have a couple of ideas that I'm still continuing to develop. And it's almost like, boy, the one that I wish somebody would kind of take, look in the notebook or what have you, and implement it. It's like, no, they don't want to mess around with that one. See, and that's what cracks me up. Sometimes I joke and say, the thing I tell you to do, you don't want to do, even though it's a good idea. And then the baby that I want to keep to myself, oh my goodness, and I don't even, really get to take care of that the way that I wanted to. So the whole point is this: mindset, inventions, giving, good of mankind, humanity, and things of that nature. You just look at the person's personality and their own priorities, and if they work in conjunction with yours, boy, that's the start of a good partnership or relationship or what have you, because you're certainly going to respect one another. You already know what you're coming into, and not trying to actually still run into a person as if you're going to change. Put it this way: people tell you in a minute, you can always learn from someone else. Yes, and yet I continue to emphasize it is not our responsibility to still force our thinking onto someone else in this way or that way either. And that doesn't just make for a good partnership if a person walks into it in that way. So you know what you expect from this person, they know what they expect from you, and I'm telling you, you just got some reasonable people out here with a certain type of mindset, because they certainly not going to, like I said, try to encroach upon your creation, your baby that you're developing. Unless, especially if they even try to do something nice for you, and you end up saying, well, I just don't like that, then they'll be like, okay, I won't do that again, or what have you. Take care of yourself, the readers.